Alright, so I'm going to be teaching you guys how to cut hair for free, and the first thing I'm about to mention is your equipment and everything that you're going to need. So I'm going to go straight into it and tell you guys exactly what you need and keep it as simple as possible. Right, so the first thing you need is just a pair of clippers, right? So this is the seniors. I'm going to go to like different brands and talk about different brands of clippers. We've got a few brands here. I'm going to talk about all of them, but you're just going to need a pair of clippers. It's going to look like this. Let's give you a bit of a close up. Pair of shavers, right? Not sure if it's focusing. 1 second. There we go. Gonna need a pair of shavers and a pair of trimmers, right? Just there we go. Got a pair of trimmers right there. The first thing we're gonna talk about is a pair of clippers, because this is gonna be the tool that you're gonna be using the most, right? So when you got a pair of clippers, you got 3 things that you're gonna be worrying about, right? You got the lever. The lever is moving the blade. Open, close. Open, close. Switch it on, switch it off. Switch it on, switch it off. Not gonna lie, it's quite peak because half of these clippers are actually designed for people that are right-handed, and if you are left-handed, trying to switch it on, you know what I mean? Like, usually you're gonna be cutting hair with your right hand, unfortunately. That's how a lot of these clippers are designed, and you can't really get an alternative grip. But you're gonna be learning this one thing here. It's about knowing, understanding between closed. So closed is where the blades are closest. Let me try to get out of the frame. Right? So the blades are closest. That's when the blades are closed. It's like a door. That's the simplest way to think about it. Doors open, doors closed. Right, cool. Got that. Down is open because you're pushing the blade further away from each other, so they're open, and that's closed. And then you have halfway, which is about here. I'm going to show you on these clippers here. This has got the notches, right? This has got the notches, so that's about halfway, closed and open. Once you understand that, you're going to go to the trimmer. The trimmer is used for your lineups, your beards. As we get through these videos, you're going to see me use these equipments for the different uses and how to kind of mix and match. But we're just keeping it basic for now, and that's how to really understand between the difference between open and closed. Alright, cool. This is the second part of the first topic of selecting your equipment and understanding your equipment. So when you're buying clippers, you want to know, how do I save money? How do I get the best clippers? How do I get the sharpest trimmers? And I'm going to answer all of these questions because I've got some of the best clippers in the game here, like the Anders Masters. Got the Anders Masters cordless. Got the War Seniors cordless. And got the Gamma Ergos, right? All of these clippers have their own strengths and weaknesses and all got their different price points. And sometimes what I would recommend, this is not affiliated anyway, on a small page, you guys can see it, but it's one of those where if you want to get all of these in a bundle, I would recommend TPOB. It's alright, clippers are not the best, you're paying for what you get, but at the same time, for some of the prices the bundles go for, you can get a clipper, a trimmer and a shaver. Alright, you can get all of these for the price of one of these, you know what I mean? So I'd recommend them just starting off on the lower end budget. Anything outside of that, I'd recommend getting War Seniors, the corded ones, War Legend, the corded ones. Just go for corded clippers, alright? With corded clippers, they're built to last. Go with proper brands like Wall or Andis. Don't go for anything else. Don't try beat around the bush and try to get cheap clippers, because if you get cheap clippers, you're going to come out with cheap haircuts. And at the end of the day, in this course, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to get the best haircuts. Alright? Cool. On to the third subtopic of selecting your equipment. When it comes to clippers and understanding these clippers, right, you want to understand the way the blades work. And I've taught you guys what opened and closed is. When the blades are closer together, it cuts sharper. And the way to do that, when you buy these clippers, from the shop or whatever, they're never always going to be what we call zero gapped. So this is a terminology where it's quite common in the barber industry of zero gapping your clippers. So zero gapping is literally having the gap between the top blade, the cutting blade, and the bottom blade, the back plate, closer together, right? So you wanna zero gap it, so then you get the sharpest ability out of your trimmers, right? And you wanna make sure it's not overlapping, because if it's overlapping, you're gonna be cutting people. The cutting blade is not gonna have a back blade to actually slice the hair. It's just gonna be a pure blade. Same example with a pair of shears, right? If you got a pair of shears, when they have contact and it's sharpest is when they're close together. When they're out, you know what I mean? But at the same time, one of the shears can slice, right? That's the same as going for the top blade being overlapped. It will cut someone. So it's really important about adjusting these blades, just getting a Phillips screwdriver and just adjusting these blades where you're not cutting people too much, and at the same time it's set right. And when you set, in my opinion, when you set, some barbers may do this different, but at the end of the day, this is my course, right? When you set your clippers, I like to set my trimmers, right? I like to set a pair of my trimmers. It's the same cutting sharpness as one of my clippers, right? So then when I set my bold line, we're going to talk about guidelines and stuff like that and bold lines. When I set the skin line, I can take it right out with the clippers. When it comes to the shavers, don't worry about the shavers. Shavers come as it is. Shavers are just perfect. Shavers, you don't even need to use shavers all the time. We're going to talk about when and when not to use shavers further down the line. But right now, we're just going to be talking about how to zero gap your clippers and the best way to zero gap your clippers, right? Cool. Alright, when you zero gap your clippers, right, you got your back plate. You got your back plate. What you want to do is get these two screws off, and it's going to be the same in all of these clippers, whatever brand it is. All of these clippers, absolutely the same. They're no different, yeah, which is good. So you just want to unscrew it. One second, this screwdriver works. Bear with. You know, I'm trying to do less editing. Cool, so you loosen up the back plate. You do not need to take the whole back plate off. Don't do that, it's a waste of time. You're gonna lose a screw, trying to find a screw, trying to get it back together, that's long. All right, next thing you wanna do, you wanna close the lever, bring it closest. You wanna push down with your thumb, right in the middle. Once you push down, because there's a spring, right? There's a spring for the motor in the middle. I'm not gonna go into the technicals of how the clipper looks on the inside and stuff. That's something that we might cover in a different day, about how to maintain your clippers, what to do when they're broken and stuff. Or you can watch someone else's video about that. But if you guys do want to learn about that, just put it in the comment section. But for now, I'm just going to tell you guys, this is what you need to do. We're trying to keep this simple, stupid, and the simpler it is, the easier it is to learn, right? You want to push down, right? Just look at that. Push down on that spring. When you push down on that spring and the lever's closed, you can move the blade however you like, all right? You got that flexibility of just moving the blade however you like. One second, let me get focus. Right, you can move that blade. What you want to do, it's easier to do this on a table, or you can just do it by eye. You level it out, push it together, right? Or let me just show you with the camera, right? So this is what you want to do, right? You want to push that blade down, right? Push the blades against the table. Hold on. There we go. It's a bit fidgety, but you push the blades against the table like that, and whilst you're holding it like that, you just screw the screws back in, and that's it. You got it zero gap. And that's it. You got the blade zero gaps. Literally push it in, tighten the screws. Sometimes what you want to do is tighten one bit by bit, readjust it, look back at it, and just make sure the blades are not overlapping. You know what I mean? And then test it on yourself. Don't be shy of just testing it on yourself before using it on someone else. Test it on yourself, and that's it. Simple. So when it comes to the trimmers, they come with a zero gapping tool, and it's a little bit different on the trimmers, right? With these Babyliss ones, you got two screws. You got one screw here and one screw there. You put, well, which is really good with Babyliss Pros, is the fact that they come with a zero gapping tool, right? So it's really simple, and it's different from the clippers. You don't use these screws. Don't touch these screws at all. Never touch them. All you want to do is actually these screws here, right? You want to put the zero gapping tool in, clip it in like that. You push from the middle. Just make sure you push from the middle, and you unscrew these screws. You loosen it up slightly, push it up, tighten it up. And what you want to do is make sure, because you're tightening it up with your right hand, and you're just putting more tension on the left side to go up. If I'll just demonstrate, when you're tightening it up with your right hand, right, you're putting more tension. Bruh. You're putting more tension for this side. My bad. You're putting more tension. Let me just get it focused. You're putting more tension for this side to go up. Just make sure this side don't push too high. If it does, just redo it. And if anything, guys, do wider reading on other people's videos when it comes to anything I talk about in this course, because sometimes one video is not enough. If you really want to master something or learn a craft or learn a skill, it's somewhere where you have to actually do a wider reading and just look at other people, the way they demonstrate it and the way they teach it. There's a lot of videos out there on how to zero gap. Just search how to zero gap, and they'll go in depth on how these clippers work and how to actually perfectly zero gap them. But with me, that's what I do. I just put the tools in, I make sure they're nice and close, test it out on myself, make sure they're not nipping me, they're not scratching me, they're not cutting me, and that's the best way to just zero gap your tools and go forward. Alright, further in equipment and your toolkit, we're gonna be talking about 3 guards, right? We're gonna be talking about the 0.5. This is the 0.5 guard. We're gonna be talking about the 1 guard. And we're gonna be talking about the 1.5. When you buy a pair of clippers, they usually come with their fitted guards, or you can just buy a pair of, or a set of guards. Guards are literally as simple as, you got your clippers, right? You wanna overlay your guard. There's a little tab right here. You wanna hear it click. Let me just. When you take the guard off, there's that tab lifted, off, click, off. That's the same with all of these guards. Click, off. As simple as that. And that's it. It's gonna be on your clippers. Clippers have guards. Trimmers are built to be zero, simple. Shavers kick in, right? For example, I've just gave myself a quick shave and I've got a bit of stubble. You get the shavers, you get a set of foil shavers, you can get any brand of foil shavers, right? If you want to save money, there's any brand of like foil shavers, they all do a good job. You don't need to get the expensive ones, you don't need Babyliss ones, but these ones I like them because they're durable, the battery's there, it's built for barbering, and it's just what I recommend. Sometimes if you are on a budget, go for your standard shavers as starting up as a barber. You'll be able to get there, and we're going to be talking about the psychology parts of barbering further into the course, and the in-depth of how to manage the business, etc., further into the course. But right now, we're just going to keep it simple, stupid, and just kind of just teach the basics, what you guys need to learn, and how to actually get forward onto the next episode. And just stay tuned with the next episodes going forward of how I'm going to be telling you how to use each bit of equipment, how to make sure you're leveraging each client, how to cut each hair type. There's going to be about 50 videos, so I'm going to try to post as much as possible and try to get these videos out there. I'm not going to be too much doing so much of the production editing side. I'm going to try to keep these simple videos clean and simple so I can get more videos out there. So just bear with, but yo, that's me. But in terms of actually wrapping up, everything that I've kind of taught in today's episode is about understanding that you need a pair of clippers, you need a pair of trimmers, and you need a pair of shavers. And you need at least these 3 guards, right? A comb, and that's it. That's all you need on the basic side of things. Everything else that you're going to see that I probably have in my toolkit, I'll show you. You guys see over there, that's my toolkit. Everything I have, you're gonna be seeing these later on in the videos when you watch them, like every extra bit and where to buy them from, etc. I'm gonna be covering this later on, but it's about just keeping it simple, where you just need a pair of clippers. That's it. You know, these 3 guards to get started. That's all you need to get started. And I'd recommend, as I said again, get a Team 45, get a Team 45 bundle. You can spend like about £100. Get a Team 45 bundle. It's cheap. The clippers are not the best, but they're, you know what I mean, they do the job. That's it. They do the job. The trimmers are not the sharpest, but if you zero gap them, they do the job. And that's all you need. Don't go any cheaper than that. Don't spend any less than that. And if you want to spend less than that, go for the wired. And less, other than that, I think I've covered it all. I feel like I covered it all. Leave me comments of what you guys want to know specifically. Do a Q&A in the comments, whatever. Just like, subscribe, and you know, just repost. Tell you guys, yo, my boy wants to learn how to cut hair. Tell him to watch my videos, because I'm gonna be posting at least on a regular basis, and just, you know, support the channel going forward.